Good evening, everyone. We have right here with us our People's Power Party candidate, Mr. Goh Meng Seng, who will actually stand for elections in MacPherson SMC. It is our party's tradition to actually pose hard questions to our candidates to make sure that they are ready to answer good, hard questions both and to prove themselves in how they want to stand in this, what they stand for in this election for their constituents. Okay, Mr. Goh Meng Seng, how are you?
Yeah, fine. Tired, but okay.
Okay, so your election agent Shafarin is there. How is it so far, the campaign? How is it going? How has it been going?
Swell, very swell.
I hope the ground has been sweet, yeah?
I would not say sweet, but at least sensible.
Yeah, PAP has a lot of surprises normally towards the end.
Of course. We are always looking for. I've got 4 questions for our party's candidate, Mr. Goh Meng Seng, and at any time, your election agent, Mr. Shafarin, chairman of the party itself, can intervene, can save him or answer what he's supposed to. What is the best answer to deliver? This is going live.
Yeah.
This is not going to be censored. This is as good as raw as it can get. Okay, the first question I'm just going to pose to you, okay? You are contesting in a constituency that has interesting demographic setup. One with socio-economic background that will, in assumption, more sensitive to certain policy matters. Speaking of which, you mentioned many times as part of your ongoing campaign message that we have to be less reliant on cheaper foreign employment. How are you going to sell this to your constituents, the people of MacPherson SMC whom you are canvassing for votes now up until the last hours of this campaign? And how are you planning to help them on this? And how are you going to get this message to resonate with Singaporeans as a whole? So this is about being less reliant on cheaper foreign employment.
Well, cheaper foreign employment actually have a seep through all the segment of the society, all the segment of jobs perspective. It can be a PMAP, it can be a cleaner, it can be a construction site, it can be just a factory workers. It's all segment, so it affects every Singaporean. No doubt about that. So in this area, most people are living in the 3-room flat and the rental flats. Presumably, they will be affected if they are the construction workers, logistic workers, blue collar workers, And of course, there are some PMAPs in the area also, the 4-room flat, the new 4-room flat and 5-room flats. So everybody is affected, Especially the vulnerable groups are mainly the blue collar workers, because they are vulnerable because whoever the foreign workers labor are being employed, they are much cheaper than local labor, because we cannot survive with low income. This is Singapore. This is not some third world country. Singapore is the most expensive city in the world. You see, so their lives will be definitely affected in that sense. I think this policy matters about foreign, so it should not be termed as foreign talent policies. It should be foreign labor policies. Is workers, blue collar workers in MacPherson. Yeah. So I don't see there's a problem with that.
Yeah. So how are you going to sell this to your voters in MacPherson? How are you going to help them?
I would just tell them, well, the foreign labor policy will actually suppress their income. A cleaner can only earn about $700, $800. Why would that be so when they are living in Singapore, the most expensive city?
So
this is almost like
yeah. So if
it's almost like Sorry.
Continue. Sorry.
So this is actually like a third world country wages, because we are competing against a third world country foreign labor. See, it doesn't make sense to them.
Of course.
So you just hammer them why they are getting so low wages because of the suppression of income by the influx of a foreign labor.
So what are your plans if you are in parliament? How are you gonna forward this?
Well,
Yeah.
a minimum wage is the most important thing to protect the income of the blue collar workers. And this minimum wage should apply across the board, whether you are foreign labor or local Singaporeans. Because only when you have such system in place, right, on top of the income, the companies will have to pay levies, right?
Yep.
So it will make employment of foreign labor much more expensive than local blue collar workers. So the demand will be shifted back to local. Definitely. So the income of our local workers, blue collar workers will increase. That's the plan. Without such minimum wage policy, I do not see how we can actually help to upgrade the quality of life of these people.
Yep.
And the fact is, why should we discriminate blue collar workers in terms of income? I mean, you're in Australia for so long. Blue collar workers actually maybe earn as much as a professional, a PMAP, right?
$40, $35 to $40 an hour, and you do the calculations, but 9 to 7, 5 days a week. Yeah. 9 to 5.
Yeah, correct. So in Singapore, why would actually there's a salary discrimination against blue collar workers? I don't understand it. They are just using a different form of labor, manual labor, to earn their living, while the PMAPs are using more brain power. It's just a different form of a skill set and capability. So we have to look into this if we want to progress into a first world country.
Of course. I think this is a very serious issue, especially what's happening right now. People are beginning to lose their jobs. Cost of living is going high, and there's still an influx of a lot of foreign employment, which certain things that we can actually have control over, we're not having control over.
Yeah. Correct. So a minimum wage or minimum living wage is a necessity.
Yeah. So you are a proponent of minimum wage system, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So that's a party stand.
Blue collar workers. Yeah. Or else, there's a party stance. Yeah.
Good.
Correct.
Okay. Can I move on to the next question? Is it okay?
Clearly, but I think the internet has a disruption. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We move on to the next question. Okay. Again, the SMC you're contesting, which is MacPherson SMC, it's made up of public housing flats that have been around for quite some time. I've seen them. I've actually used to live near that constituency. I grew up in Potong Pasir. But over the years, even though they're old blocks, it has gone through some beautiful aesthetic upgrades. But again, given your stance on the HDB issue, right? Explain a bit on your HDB issue or the HDB message that you've hold on for so long, and explain a bit of the background, and also how is this going to resonate with MacPherson SMC? If someone tells you that, hey, it looks nice, what's the issue? Even though it's old, but it looks nice.
Yeah. When I go to the ground and I explain to them that their HDB flat will actually drop in value drastically after the 40 years life, some of them actually felt that they asked why. Some of them were asked that, is it? Some may not even know that the price of the HDB flat will go into zero when it reaches 99-year lease.
Yeah.
But some are very angry that have been sold. Or the idea of a HDB flat will always increase, right?
Yeah.
So there are different segments of people. Having said that, it is just a fact that the value will drop after 40 years. But if you are treating your HDB as a home, not an investment asset, that's fine, right? That's fine, right? But the problem is when the HDB gets old, the concrete, the materials that we used in the past cannot last more than 70 years. in fact, when you reach 40 years, 50 years, the oldest flat down there is about 55 years. You will start seeing concrete spine concrete dropping, leakages and all that. Now, what is the upgrading that they have done, right? Aesthetic, as you say.
Yeah.
They did some of the job inside for the piping and all that, but what they missed is actually the wiring. They didn't do the wiring, which is to me is very important, because after 20 years, 30 years, the wire will actually corrode, and you can trip anytime. In fact, tripping is quite common in that area, and if you are not careful, you might have a fire. And these are old people. Their reaction is actually slower than normal. So why aren't these being looked into? That's the question. The other question is, there is always a discrimination against estate like this. When you go to the Marine Parade per se, you can see the Goh Chok Tong walls is very well maintained. Maybe 3 times, 4 times upgraded, different upgrading programs, right? But in MacPherson, they only get upgraded once or at most twice. It's just like where I live in Cheng San, right, which is part of Ang Mo Kio GRC. Teck Yi is just one street across. You can see Teck Yi have been upgraded numerous times before my estate get 1 upgrade and 2 upgrade, right? Because those are heavyweight ministers. Resources have been catered for them. So this is a management of town council. When MacPherson as a single seat is run by the town council, they will be overlooked because Tim Pei is not minister. Simple as that. Nobody cares. Her estate will be the list of priorities. The only way of making sure there is a priority is to take it out for a Marine Parade town council. Then you have all your own resources, then you plan accordingly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's one part. The problems that they face. Right? So another problem is Tin Pei Ling comes out with very fanciful gimmick, I would call, the plan that she put up. What solar panel for 100 household? Why not all the household, but 100 household? No? Half of the electricity tariff. It's gimmick to me. Right?
Yeah.
I welcome all the money that they can throw into the estate because it benefits people.
Yeah.
But the priorities must be set. Although they are covered walk links, but it's not complete. You have two MRT stations, but it's not well connected to the estate through covered walk link. I do not know why. That seems very illogical to me. MRT stations are the most used common point for the estates. Why isn't it done properly? I don't know. And you don't just jump into fanciful things, like this without completing the infrastructure build. Yeah. So there are several problems with the HDB. Of course, ultimately, people will realize that they cannot monetize their HDB for retirement. It's a fact, it's a sad fact. People are complaining that they want to downgrade or they want to leave the estate and sell the flats and go to other places. Right? But the problem is they cannot sell and move on, because once they sell, all the money will go to CPF, half of it, and they will not have enough money to buy a second flat.
Yes.
That's another problem.
Yeah.
Right? They're complaining about that. So how do you actually monetize HDB for retirement? So PAP's concept plan can sound so beautiful. It's a dream to everyone. But when it comes to execution, it doesn't work that way. It's a missold policy.
Yeah.
In many ways. That's all I can say.
Okay. That's a very comprehensive answer, because I know your stance on HDB has been, traditionally grounded on a certain principle for more than 10 years, I would say. I think 20 years.
Yeah.
I know you for 10 years, but probably more than that as well.
It goes all the way back to 1995 when they start to talk about this asset enhancement. I was the one as a fresh graduate of honors, economics. I say, no, I'm going to be affected. My generation, my future generation will be affected.
Yeah. It's first-hand experience of that. Okay, we'll go on to the third question. How different are you going to be with the incumbent, Ms. Tin Pei Ling, should you get elected as a MacPherson SMC MP? And how well do you gauge your opponent in this contest?
No, I can't hear the first part of the question, sorry.
Oh, okay, the first part of the question is, how different are you going to be with the incumbent, Ms. Tin Pei Ling, should you get elected as MacPherson SMC MP? How different are you going to be from her style or her way of doing things? And at the same time, I want to ask you as well, how well do you gauge your opponent in this general elections contest?
We have been warned, so-called. Even said that I may lose my deposit. Right? It's a very serious warning, because everybody have this impression that she's very well liked, very liked by the old people, elderly. She took care of the elderly, so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, she can be a good social worker, but definitely not a good parliamentary MP.
Yeah.
Parliamentarian. Right? That's the difference between me and her. I am from social work background also. I raise funds for social charity also. That is easy to do if you have the support of the PA and all the resources you can garner from the social welfare societies and all that. It's not a problem. I have a connection of welfare societies also. Now, put that aside, right? Being well liked by the people is important in the SMC, let me say, because SMC the fight will depend on personalities, whether you are liked as a person or liked as a hero, right? Hero means what? You dare to actually question the government, like JBJ, like Lau Tia Kiang. They are portrayed as the lion in parliament. Lau Tia Kiang is actually called the Teochew, what do you call it? Teochew angry man. In Chinese, Teochew angry man. Huh? So, yeah. People tend to like a certain characteristics of a personality. Yeah. I'm a Hainanese angry man, I would say, right? But I'm sociable also, huh? Yeah. when it comes to serious stuff, I'm very serious. But when it comes to interpersonal relationship, I'm very sociable. You know, Nasir. Yeah, been with me for so long. So, but put that aside. What we need now, what the nation need now, is actually more checks and balances in parliament. Because we have a 4G leadership who are more of a technocrats, bureaucrats, rather than real leaders. If you look at how they have carried out their COVID-19 crisis management, you will know. Their perspective is, I do not want to create trouble for myself. I do not want to create problems for myself that I cannot solve. Right? Mm-hmm. Their perspective is a very bureaucrat perspective. Want to sell, want to cover up. That's how they react to the crisis. Right? They are not leaders who make tough decisions and say, even though after your decision is made, there will be problems, I will try to solve it. Right? They do not have that resolve. They are more like Chun Seng said, if everybody put masks, I will have trouble. I do not have enough masks. But he didn't think that, why don't you solve the mask problem? See? That's the mindset, you know? So if you have this bunch of elites, bureaucratic elites, to lead Singapore, do you want to give them more power? or do you want to give them more checks and balances? Of course, we want to check on them. And Ting Pei-Ling, with due respect, have not spoken anything critical about her own party in terms of policies or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
This is what we don't need in Parliament at the moment, right? We need more.
Yes, that's not what. Yeah. She can continue to work on the social work, take care of the people, or even garner more resources after if she lose for the PAP and the PA and all that.
Yeah.
Put more money. I'm more than happy than that. Right? Yeah, whatever benefits the residents, I'm more than happy than that.
Yeah.
But what we need now as a crisis mode is more people with critical mind that can provide the necessary check and balances.
That's important. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for that. Good answer. Good answer. Okay, I've got a last question for you. So this is as a friend, I know what you're thinking most of the time, not always, but but one of the messages that actually resonate with me when I actually watch your Chinese Asia, your rally speech, so-called in Chinese Asia, it's about a functioning parliament. So okay, this is how the question goes. Yeah, you are standing as an SMC candidate, not in the GRC anymore as you had done so in the past 3 GBs. But you have high plans and good ideas to make Singapore into functioning democratic institution. When you do get elected, I'm not going to say if, because I know you're going to get elected. How would you champion this as a sole member of People's Power Party against the other, probably let's just assume that other opposition parties are going to get elected as well, in bloc? Let's say PSP, Workers' Party.
Nas.
Yeah.
Nas.
Sorry, yeah?
Nas, I hope I'm not fighting this alone. I got people like you, right? I got people like Safaring as my think tank, my backup. No, I'm not fighting alone. That's one thing.
That's telling
but
you.
Of course,
in the chamber itself, right? You'll be alone as a party Of course, we'll be in the gallery and we'll be outside and we'll be.
No, there's always something called WhatsApp. You can always scroll me. That's what the
That's true. That's true. Okay. So in Parliament itself, how are you gonna fight for this functioning democracy, functioning Parliament? If number one,
okay, there's two.
I'll give you the next scenario first. Number one, if you are the only opposition, only PPP member, but you are with the rest of a few more opposition who got elected in. Okay, so how do you do politics with that? Number two is the worst case scenario. It's good and bad because the good is you are elected. The bad is you are the only one elected. So the only opposition elected. So how do you deal with that? How do you pursue that dream of yours, that ideal of yours about functioning parliament, functioning democratic parliament? Yeah.
First of all, there are NCMPs. I think there will be people who take up NCMPs.
You're right.
Right? I'm not going to be alone. Right? Don't worry. Right? Of course, if there are other MPs or NCMPs, opposition parties and MPs, I would want to build an alliance. This is always my dream. I think this is the only way we can go forward as an opposition. We have to rearrange and regroup ourselves into an alliance. Without doing such, we will go nowhere. I believe. That's my belief. Okay. Apart from that, I think beside you and Safrin as my team member, most of my allowance will be used to employ interns to build a team of researchers and policy researchers, especially. Because I believe politics should be professional. If you do not build your backroom with researchers, right? Well, interns is cheaper, but they're not they provide new perspective, new ideas.
So they're fresh, just studying.
Yeah, fresh. Yeah. So with that team, I hope to have 3 to 4 of them, right? I think we can be a formidable force because no MPs have ever done that before. Right? A professional employed team of researchers.
No MPs have done
last
that
time,
before?
yeah. Well, last time in Workers' Party,
yeah,
we are just a sit-in. Whenever parliamentary sitting is coming and all that. We brainstorm ideas and we write speeches and all that. That's basically it. But I would go one step further. With researchers, we search about all the data, all the stats from Singapore as well as the world to do contrast and comparison.
Yeah.
You know, we need that. We need that professional think tank, right, to be run as a professional party. And that is how we will grow. I just did one base in a single seat. And you can see what I will do with it in Parliament. Well, most probably I will spend most of my money, because it's a very old estate. I will spend another part of our money to actually give away, to help those who have come for help and all
welfare
that.
Programs.
Welfare programs. So I will basically have nothing left. 60,000 is not a lot. Okay. Yeah, you have 28,000 residents to take care of. Most of them are from the vulnerable groups. So it's okay. But as long as Lim Pei enjoy it, it's okay. Well, that's a process that we like.
I agree with that.
Life is short. Life is short. We just have to do what we think is right.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's really about it. Thank you so much for your time, and this is just part of our party's effort.
My time to throw a question. When are you coming back to stand for election? You and Safarin.
No. Look. What's happening in the SMC campaign right now? I think you guys are doing great. I think better than the GRC campaign because it's better controlled, better managed, and I think the ground really resonates with your principles and ideals because the kind of voters, the kind of background, and the kind of values that you have, I think resonates well. And I believe after this Friday, you'll be the member of parliament for MacPherson. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
We believe in your stand. You will stand firm in your ideals and principles, and you're the best person to lead the best outcome eventually. Good luck, and very best of you in this final moments of this campaign. You've been fighting hard for years and years, more than decades. And Shafarin, thank you so much. Good luck to both of you for the hard work. And I hope, really pray for the best outcome. You deserve it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Stop this recording now. Hold on. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.